I found the door on my third night in the new apartment. It was past midnight, and the unfamiliar creaks and settling sounds of the building had kept me awake. Again. I'd gotten up for water, shuffling through the darkness with just the dim glow of my phone screen to guide me. That's when I noticed it. A thin, almost invisible seam in the kitchen wall where there shouldn't have been one. I might never have seen it if the shadows hadn't fallen just right. The landlord hadn't mentioned any additional storage, but there it was. A small door, about 3 feet high, nearly flush with the wall and painted the same eggshell white. No handle, just a small indent where you could press your fingers to pull it open. The door gave way with surprising ease. Too much ease. Behind it lay a narrow set of stairs descending into darkness. The air that wafted up was cool and dry, carrying a faint scent I couldn't quite place, like old books mixed with something metallic. I should have closed it. Should have called the landlord in the morning. Instead, I found myself retrieving my flashlight from the junk drawer and crouching down to peer into the opening, my heart already pounding against my ribs. The staircase was crude, unfinished wood that creaked under my weight. 13 steps down. I counted them. And then a small landing. The ceiling was low enough that I had to hunch over, but the space opened into what appeared to be a small room. The air heavier with each breath I took. My flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing bare concrete walls and floor. Empty, except for a child's wooden chair in the center, and oddly, an old calendar hanging on the far wall. I approached the calendar cautiously, each step echoing in the silent space. It was open to May 2025. This month. But something was wrong. Yesterday's date was circled in red. Today's date was missing. Entirely. I felt a chill race down my spine that had nothing to do with the room's temperature. When I checked my phone with trembling fingers, the date displayed correctly. May 3rd, 2025. But on the wall calendar, May jumped from the 2nd directly to the 4th. I left quickly, shutting the small door firmly behind me. I tried to dismiss it as someone's idea of a joke. A previous tenant perhaps, or a maintenance worker. But deep down, I knew it was something else. But the next night, I found myself returning. The same 13 steps, the same room, except the calendar now showed April 2025. And May 2nd, yesterday was missing entirely. That's when I began to understand. Cold realization washing over me. Each visit erased a day from my timeline. Not just any day. The most recent day I had lived. My stomach knotted as the implications sank in. I told myself I wouldn't go back down. I even pushed my refrigerator in front of the little door, hands shaking with determination. But 3 nights later, the urge became overwhelming. A compulsion. I found myself moving the fridge aside and descending those 13 steps once again, unable to stop myself. The calendar now displayed March 2025, and 3 more days of my life had vanished from existence, like they'd never been. I began to notice changes. Colleagues mentioned meetings I had no memory of attending. My sister called to follow up on a conversation we'd apparently had last week. A conversation that was now erased from my timeline. I felt myself becoming a stranger in my own life. I needed to understand what was happening, so I started keeping a journal, writing detailed accounts of each day, leaving it in my apartment before venturing down to the sublevel. When I returned, I could see which experiences had been erased, watching my own life disappear page by page. The pattern was always the same. With each visit, I moved one day backward. Not physically. I remained in the present. But my personal timeline was being gradually undone. I began going down more frequently, weekly, then daily. I couldn't stop myself. There was something addictive about it. Watching my own past dissolve, feeling the weight of memories and choices lifting from my shoulders. The relief was intoxicating. By November, I had erased 6 months of my life. 6 months. Relationships I had built during that time vanished, as if they'd never existed. Mistakes I'd made were undone. It was a strange form of power, and I was drunk on it. I kept meticulous notes on what disappeared after each descent. But I noticed something unsettling. Events were still happening in the world without me. Life continued on its course, but my participation in it was being systematically removed, like erasing a single instrument from an orchestra that plays on. Then, I found the photographs. Hidden beneath the chair in the sub-level room was a small tin box, rusted at the edges. Inside were dozens of Polaroid pictures of people I didn't recognize, each labeled with dates and numbers. June 12th, 2024. Negative 347 days. September 30th, 2023. Negative 603 days. The oldest one read January 4th, 1994, minus 11,473 days. With a sickening clarity that made my knees weak, I realized I wasn't the first to discover this place. Others had been erasing themselves, day by day, moving backward through their timelines, moving toward... What? I calculated how many days I had lived, how many visits it would take to reach the beginning. I tried to stop going down. I tried, but the pull was too strong. The sub-level called to me each night, promising to lift more burdens, erase more regrets. Last night I went down again. The calendar now shows July 1991. Tomorrow it will be June. I'm approaching my birth date, and I can feel something changing within me. The Polaroids have given me a glimpse of what happens next. The final image in the tin was labeled simply Day 0, showing only an empty hospital bassinet with a small name card. The next one after that was labeled Day -1, showing the same hospital room, but no bassinet at all. Nothing. I understand now. Each visit to the sub-level brings me one day closer to before I was born. The room is feeding on my existence, unmaking me one day at a time. I can feel parts of myself becoming thinner, less substantial. I've tried to seal the door permanently. I've tried to move away. But I always find myself back at those 13 steps, descending into the cool darkness. Something is pulling me toward complete erasure, and I am powerless against it. I'm writing this account in the hope that someone might find it, though I suspect it too will vanish as I approach Day 0. The calendar now shows only a few more pages before my birth date. My hands shake as I write these words. I've begun to notice physical changes. Old scars have reappeared, injuries from my youth returning as I move backward through my timeline. My reflection looks younger. I wonder what will happen when I reach the beginning. Will I simply blink out of existence? Or will something worse, far worse, occur? Tonight, I'll go down one more time. I tell myself it will be the last, but I know that's a lie. The sub-level has me now. It owns me completely. If you found this, if you're reading these words, then perhaps I still exist somewhere in the world's memory. But if you ever find a small door where none should be, a door leading down 13 steps to a room with nothing but a child's chair and a calendar, please, turn away. Some doors are meant to stay closed. Some days are better left lived.